Hello everyone, my name is Shani Jones and this is KNKY, which stands for Know the New Kinky You. I am your resident certified sex coach and we are here to talk about sex. This is an extension of our series. We did a series before just on the general topic of non-monogamy. And now we are talking about some specific forms of non-monogamous relationships. Now, this one is the last in this particular series, and it's all about cuckolding. Now, what's funny, at least for me, is that when I very first heard this term, I was like, what the fuck is cuckolding? I didn't know. But literally, since I found out, because, I'm all about education, since I found out and I brought the subject up to other people, they're like, oh yeah. I was like, what the hell? Why am I the only one that doesn't know what this is or didn't know what it is? So, for those of you who know what it is and you're experts at it, definitely looking for your opinions. But if you happen not to be an expert and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, this one's for you. So, cuckolding, cuckolding, is a fetish where someone gets turned on watching or knowing their partner is having sex with someone else. Might seem strange, but think about it. We've talked about threesomes, and we've talked about poly, and we've talked about swinging and swapping. There are these scenarios where you have a partner who knows or has seen or is watching their partner have sex with someone else. So, not that strange. It's just a term that is the summation of what that knowledge is. So, typically you would think of it as men that are watching their female partners have sex. And it comes from historically where it came from infidelity, where men who were being cheated on had this level of humiliation because they were being cheated on. But fast forward and modernized, you're not being cheated on because there is an awareness, there is permission of sorts, there is acknowledgement and consent. So not necessarily what it used to be. So again, if you are a man, it's typical, but women are considered cuck queens. cuckqueans. If you want to look it up. Sorry, I have a coughing spell. So the person that is watching or hearing about the sex is the cuck. The partner is the cuckoldress, or the partner having the sex is the cuckoldress, and the third party is called the bull. All partners are fully knowledgeable of the other's actions and they condone it. And one of the things through research is that it's really hard to determine how common of a practice this actually is. And it's because we don't study it. I digress a little bit, but we talked about the Klein scale and the Kinsey scale, and we have these institutes where we talk about sexual health, but sexual research is really not done as thoroughly and extensively as we have the opportunity for it to be. So hopefully I get to help change that with your help. But through other means, we can look at Google searches and know that cuckolding is something that is highly searched on a regular day, every day. We can look at porn sites and see that there are specific categories that are based around cuckolding. So it's popular. People know about it. I didn't at one point, but now I do. So why are people into this? Some say it's a biological thing, especially for men, because there is this sperm competition theory where you see someone having sex with your girl, your partner, and she's enjoying it, that sperm competition theory makes you want to have longer, more vigorous sex with your partner. It often results in the cuck ejaculating harder, having more sperm in their ejaculate, and having shorter refractory periods between erections. And refractory, of course, is the time between the time you ejaculate and the time that you gain an erection again. Sexual response cycle. Go back and look at those videos if you missed it. Is a concept of sexual jealousy. You know, that knowing somebody else wants your partner and is desiring your partner can trigger a sexual overdrive in you, and you're like, okay, it can be intense, it can be motivating, and it can be arousing. You're like, oh damn, they are enjoying sexual pleasure from the person that is mine. They're mine. There is a term called hot wife, but it's different from cuckolding. So one term which I thought is interesting is compersion. And compersion is the actual feeling of happiness that you get with your partner. You know, they often talk about it as part of polyamorous relationships where you are happy seeing your partner sexually satisfied. It's that opposite of jealousy. You want to feed your partner's sexual appetite, your sexual desires, your sexual satisfaction. So watching them or knowing that they are being sexually satisfied brings you pleasure. Sometimes there's the humiliation aspect. You know, like we know that humiliation is an aspect of BDSM because it is a sexual trigger, not necessarily something that is intended to be a bad thing. It's something that is intended to enhance your sexual awareness, your sexual self. But because modern day cuckolding is between consenting adults, it kind of removes that, or dulls that level of humiliation. And, you know, depending on how you execute this dynamic, you know, you could have a partner where your partner and the bull, who's the third partner, you know, can actively, you know, humiliate the cuck, and, you know, by laughing or belittling, or just imagine a scenario where the bull is having sex with the female partner. It's like, don't intend to be too graphic. I try to stay as professional as possible. But yeah, I'm fucking the shit out of your girl. You can't fuck her like this. I bet you won't even be able to fit in here after I get finished with her. You know, that type of shit talk could be something that is like humiliating to him, but also be like, all right, I hear what you're saying, but wait till I get up in there and I'm gonna show you what I can do. So, you know, just kind of play out the scenario in your head. There's also that submission aspect where the cuck is actually submitting to someone else taking over their role in the bedroom. So it's like, this is my position, this is my spot. Now I'm submitting to you to play my position. And that sexual pleasure comes from giving up that power to someone else. So, you know, again, some aspects of BDSM, it is a kink, it is a fetish. So, you know, there are things to consider. There's also aspects of the physical pleasure as well as the emotional intimacy, where you actually get to have sex with someone else. And from that sex with someone else, as a couple, you have increased sexual pleasure. Like, oh, we've had this experience together, and when we come back together, oh, we're stronger and we're better as a couple. There's deeper communication and there's sharing of that experience. So again, we talked about it in the other parts of the series. There's sharing of an experience that doesn't necessarily exist when it's just a one-on-one, because now it's our little secret. It's our people don't know that we do this. This is, maybe they do, but not typically. This is our thing that we share together, and we could talk about it. We were like, oh yeah, you liked how we did that, or you liked how she sucked your balls. All of this stuff. So again, use your imagination. I'm trying not to be too graphic, but I'm trying to give you examples so that you understand how this works. So, from the bull's perspective, here it is. You are having an opportunity to have no strings attached sex with someone who is willing and eager and looking forward to it. Now, what's so strange, not strange, is that I've had people that I know, tell me stories about how, they're out at a party and, let's say typically in those stories that I've heard, it's usually the males that approach the other males and be like, hey, my wife is interested in you. She's over there. I'm good with it. Would you want to have sex with her? Now, also in my opinion, I think oftentimes for people that sounds like a setup. So they might not be as eager to jump out there and do that, but maybe, you never know. Situations can turn into anything. But again, you have to, excuse me, you have to keep your options open, but also be safe and cognizant of who you're with, your surroundings, and everything involved in it. So, cuckolding there are different ways to experience it. It could be a matter of talking about a different sexual experience that's completely made up. You can make up a story, but they get off on hearing about a sexual experience. You can share details about past sexual encounters. If you're comfortable with that, you can get into those details. Again, make sure that as you share information, some people, it sounds like a good idea at first, but sometimes shit can flip. So just keep it in mind. You can try watching your partner get a sensual massage. So seeing someone else touch and rub on them, can be enticing. You can escort your partner out and, maybe watch them flirt at a bar, or maybe they've established a date where sex is on the table, and then, you can be waiting for them, and then when they come out, you can kind of get the details and, of what they did and how everything went down. Or you can think to participate directly and join in and create some level of a threesome. So, how do you initiate the conversation? The same way you do with anything else. Bringing any sexual fantasy or kink up can be difficult, but you have to be honest and you have to communicate. You have to be ready to communicate. Understand that there are going to be questions. Like, they may not really understand why you're into what you're into, or what does it mean for them. So think about these things. You should both think about this and do an assessment. What is it about cuckolding that turns you on? Is it just a fantasy, or is it something that you really want to try? So are we talking about made up stuff? Are we talking about talking? Are we talking about how far do you really want to take this? Are you really talking about, sitting and watching or engaging somebody? What does it mean? And why is doing this going to be a benefit to the relationship? Because if there's no benefit to the relationship, there's no point in doing it. So, when you're talking about putting yourself into the situation, finding your bull, same questions. Friend or stranger? There are benefits to the friend. There are benefits to the stranger. There are apps. FetLife, Tinder, Adult Friend Finder, Local Cuckolder. There are different ways to find it. No shortage. The one thing that I've learned and appreciate about the internet is that it has made this world a smaller place. And anything that I want can be found on the internet. You also have to be careful with that. So, people of like interests, you can find each other. So, always make sure that you're meeting in a public place. Have your own transportation to and from your meeting. If you're going alone, make sure that somebody knows where you'll be and how to get in touch with you. Always have condoms on standby. Okay? Your own. Man, woman, child, not child. Man, woman, have condoms your own. Make sure you're discussing your sexual health and history, and make sure that you set the ground rules and expectations for your sexual encounter. Now, again, with anything, there are going to be risks, but you have to make sure that they're calculated risks, things that you are willing to do. Could there be emotional jealousy? Could there be physical jealousy? Yes. Yes. Communication, honest communication is going to be key. Could somebody change their mind? Just like in any situation, yes, they can. And they have that right to. And if they do, you need to be respectful of this situation as it changes. As long as people are communicating what it is that they want and need, they are allowed to change their minds. So, that was brief, but hopefully after all of the other ones, you have a new awareness, enhanced awareness of the different types of non-monogamous sexual relationships. Things to consider when thinking about engaging in them. Things to consider about the partners that you choose. Make sure that you have these open, honest conversations with your partner so that everyone starts out, continues to be on the same page as things progress. And understand your risk. And if you ever need somebody to help you go through these conversations or help you answer more personal or in-depth questions that you may have, feel free to reach out. I am Shani Jones. You can find me across all social media at DOYOUKNKY. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I appreciate you for all you do, and I look forward to seeing you on the next series. Thank you.